Welcome into the Landon Tengwall live call-in post-game show. Penn State 40, Rutgers 36. That was an eventful one, let me tell you what. They wanted to make us sweat that out. I love Kaytron Allen ending how he ended. That was beautiful. Holy cow, over 500 yards allowed by the Penn State defense today to this Rutgers offense. Good grief. Today's show is brought to you by Whiteout Tequila. Whiteouttequila.com gets you some of the best tequila in the game for the bowl game. Who's going to the bowl game? Where are we going? I'm in for the Pinstripe Bowl. We get Pinstripe Bowl. I'll see you guys in New York City, please. Oh, wow. Let's see. Penn State went 9.1 yards per carry against this Rutgers defense. The offense was not the problem. The defense had a rough day. Let's go to the phone lines. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Brad from Pontiac, Michigan.
Brad, what's up? What's your question, brother?
Hey, man, I was just wondering with the coaching search where you're at right now, and who do you think's getting the job, and who do you think should get the job?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think right now I always keep it fully honest. The most smoke I've heard is around Lincoln Riley and Kalen DeBoer. I think you're more happy with DeBoer. I think both of them are up in the air, and I don't think anything matters for certain, or if anybody tells you they know for sure, I don't think they do until that tarmac gets hit with the plane and someone's arriving in State College. So I'm going to be covering it eagerly. As soon as the news comes out, we're going to get a video out for you guys. Yeah, but this has been a long coaching search. I am happy we are at the end of it. I think it's coming to a close. I don't know. I think we'll definitely be watching. Everybody will be watching the Iron Bowl tonight. I'll tell you what. Julius Caesar says, why did they – oh, yeah, the trick play. That was rough. Yeah, we got bailed out. They were driving, and obviously Callie McManus just decided to fumble the ball on his own, and it was beautiful. So Amari Campbell got a gift there. This defense definitely got bailed out. But, yeah, I do love Terry forever. I do think that puts to bed some of the Terry chance because, as I said, it's not going to happen either way. Let's go to the phone lines here. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Artie from Sinking Valley.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
I want to know what the fuck is Noel thinking on that play.
Oh, did he say nose? Which play are you referring to is the question, because it could be a lot of them. No, Rutgers, guys, I mean, they ate on RPO. It was run-pass option, and a lot of times Penn State was playing with a six-man box, and they were just running it down our throats. Shout out to Antoine Raymond, their running back. I'm curious to see what PFF's going to give them, but there was a lot of missed tackles. Oh, my gosh. That's kind of been a somewhat common theme outside of last game. Penn State's defense has had a rough time tackling, but a lot of the stuff we saw basically the entire season up until about the past 3 games before this game came back for the defense. That was a rough day. Yeah, someone said we went from sweating it out against number 2 to sweating it out against Rutgers. That's where we're at. You can't expect anything else for this year, but look, I was really happy with the performance by the offensive line, and what a way to go out. If Kaytron Allen doesn't show up for the bowl game, we don't know what's going to happen. 226 yards in his last regular season game at Penn State. Take a bow. The only 4,000-yard rusher, probably the only 4,000-yard rusher for a very long time at Penn State. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. This is Martin calling from New York. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, brother. What's your question?
The Rutgers, man. We never lose to them, bro. Never. even that year, bro. Never.
What you got, brother?
I'm just curious. I was watching the game today before Rutgers game. So I saw like Bryce Underwood playing against Ohio State. So like Michigan just keep running the ball, right? So like if I was Bryce Underwood, I probably feel like transferring out of Michigan because you know if you're just gonna run the ball all the time.
Yeah, no, Bryce, Michigan did not throw the ball down the field. I don't know if they can. They weren't really trying at all. But it was what we've expected for a couple years in the game. But it was a physical one, I'll tell you what. Wow, yeah, crazy ending to that game. That was maybe the catch of the year from KJ Duff, Rutgers wide receiver. That was one hell of a catch. So good fight by them. Callie McManus actually just sold them at the end, just fumbling the ball. New Jersey mob, Tony Soprano. I'm just playing. Here we go. Let's go to the phone lines. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian Ream from Altoona, PA.
What's up, Brian? What's your question?
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the running lanes that the O-line was creating today and how Katron and Nick were hitting those holes and being explosive, and how can we carry that on to the bowl game and end the season on a high note?
Yeah, no, it's these past 2 games, the offensive line has been showing up. The tight ends, too. Rappelier has been blocking his butt off. That's been fun to watch. You see Nick Singleton, he's a lot more decisive. He's just hitting the hole, and if he wants to bounce it outside, he is just going. There's no hesitation. So it's fun to watch him get going. 9.6 yards per carry for Nick. And then Katron Allen just always has been finding the holes all year long, honestly. I'm going to miss watching Fat Man run the football. He is a talent. There's that one run. I think you know what I'm talking about, where he bounced up the middle and kind of just bounced off some tackles and then went outside and cut back inside. It's a thing of beauty to watch him play football. It was an absolute honor. It was an honor to block for Fat Man as well myself. So an absolute historic career here at Penn State. And hopefully we get to see them for one more game. Let me know in the chat, if there was a bowl game that Penn State could go to, which one would you go to if you were going to go tailgate and go to the game? Like what would actually, I've seen people say some Music City Bowl. Are we going to Tennessee? I'm in for New York City, Christmas in New York City. Let's hit a little pinstripe. Give me Pitt or Clemson, and I think we're all going there. But after what I saw today, I'm afraid of the defense, honestly. Let's go to the phone lines. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Brett, calling from San Francisco, California.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
Hey, yeah, so I was in the student section from 2001 to 2004, and those were some rough years.
Yeah, that's bad.
My junior year, the team went 3-9. But, we still showed up every game. We froze our asses off and we cheered. And for a while there this year, it really looked like it was kind of trending that direction. And, I'm just so proud for the players and the coaches that they, you never thought you'd be so happy for a 500 season, right? Just want to put some positive energy out there for all the students, and hope everyone keeps going, supporting the team, and really looking forward to the bowl game. So sorry, I don't have a question. I just, wanted to get some positive vibes.
Always appreciate statements like that, my man. No doubt. We appreciate that type of support for sure. And we will continue to support whatever head coach is named, hopefully, in the next 24 hours. Listen, and no one in a search because it is ever fully out unless they sign a contract extension, and still they're not fully out. But as out as you can probably be, that is where Chesney is. I still see people saying Chesney online. That is very cool. It would surprise me if it went back the other direction. But I don't know. We're going to see what Pat Kraft has up his sleeve in the next couple hours, hopefully. Not 2 or 3 hours, 24 hours. But I think we'll find out pretty soon here. So at least I hope we do, because I can't take any more of this head coach search. I don't know about you, but I am going actually insane if I have to go through a couple more days of this. So please, Pat Kraft, save all of us some sanity for the people that unfortunately live online like I do, and just hire a coach and hit it out of the park too. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Northeast Boomer.
There he is. We've been waiting on you, brother.
Hey, man, how are you doing? Hey,
Doing well.
A couple of quick things. First of all, you and Chris should 100% do a Joe Pa podcast and a video, just from what people like me that, spent a lot of years in those stands watching this guy, what he means. I mean, people don't probably even realize that he was instrumental in getting the jersey numbers called on infractions. And then number 2 is, the other thing is you guys got to do game day on Penn State Network. Makes me even madder to know those 2 guys knew that, Jimmy was dissing Joe, and they still kissed his backside every game. Explain Lincoln Riley to me. Where the hell does this come from? This guy, USC, is in the playoffs this year. How are they doing? I don't get it. I never got Lincoln Riley. I don't understand it. I'll wait and listen to your explanation on why he should even be in the mix.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things. I don't know if Lincoln Riley is I mean, now don't get me wrong, makes a crap ton of money and has the #1 recruiting class in the nation. There are a couple management-wise things, not his management, but maybe the USC program will just say that he's not all the way happy with. And I think also Pat Kraft is trying to hit a home run. That's why I said it was never going to be Terry Smith. As much as I don't fully agree with the statement, you don't fire James Franklin to then hire this name, because I think that statement's already ridiculous, because we can all see how important it was to just move on and needed to get a fresh start. And even though we've had the struggles and, the effort has been here and there, it's been a lot better since Iowa went on. So that needed to happen. It did. And I think Pat Kraft is saying, though, I still need to find a way to get a big-time name, because he needs to get support. You got the stadium. You just put a bunch of money in. You want to get people excited. So if you're able to hit out of the park with Lincoln Riley or Kalen DeBoer, you're going to try to pull the trigger on that. And so I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I knew. But those would be my two best educated guesses. But that's kind of why I said that I don't think Terry Smith was ever seriously going to be taken by Pat Kraft, just because he needed to hit a home run, and he wasn't going to be able to just make that higher. It would have been really difficult for him. Support our letterman, though. Whiteout Tequila, whiteouttequila.com, the best tequila in the game. Get it for the Penn State bowl game that we will all now be going to. Michael Motti, Christian Hackenberg, this is their tequila, so make sure you guys support. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon, this is Rob from New York calling in.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
I can't help but start looking ahead to the future right now that we're through the regular season and, and all of this madness here. If we don't bring in a head coach who can kind of bring his own roster through the transfer portal, I mean, we're losing so many starters here, especially on the offensive side. There's got to be some real concern here with what, a non-head coach being brought in looks like next year, right? Like, we're talking full rebuild almost.
Yeah, I think so. And that's what I was telling folks, that I think this is going to be a bigger transfer portal window than most people expect. Like, I'll tell you guys, I put out a tweet and I asked people, what do you think? Like, give your guess of how many players. I would say the majority of people said anywhere, like the median was probably like people saying about 20 guys. Way more than that. I think we had 8 or 9 last year, and that was 8 or 9 in a year we were just trying to just complement what we thought was one of the best rosters in college football. This is going to be, especially because Terry Smith is not going to be the head coach, and we don't know if he's going to be on the staff or not. That's going to be a big change. A lot of guys are probably going to move on one way or another. So I would be ready for that. And a big piece of that is probably the next head coach, him bringing a lot of his players here. And that's what we've seen from a lot of places. So I would expect a big influx there, and then also bringing his recruits here. And I think that's another reason why, if you're going to make a big-time hire, if you're Pat Kraft, you got to try to get that done quickly, so the recruits that want to follow that head coach, whether if it is Lincoln Riley or if it is Kalen DeBoer, they want to follow him and be able to sign. The latest they can sign is December 5th. So signing day here is December 3rd, is on Wednesday, and then from there – you have Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. You can sign throughout all those days. So you don't have to sign on Wednesday this coming week. You can sign on Friday. You could sign on Thursday, whichever day you want. So it gives a little bit more time, but you want to secure that class, because then if not, you can't have guys early enroll. If you wait to pick a coach a week, they miss the early signing period, and then guys can't sign until February. So if they want to bring any of the people that want to commit to said head coach that's now going to be at Penn State, they'd have to wait till February to decide to sign to Penn State. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Tune into the Iron Bowl tonight. I definitely will be. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
All right. This is Tim Batista from Keith Field. I just wanted to ask, I know we're in the Big Ten. You're not playing scrubs, but I mean, holy hell, 533 yards to Rutgers. And also, getting a new hire, how are you going to maintain guys like Smith and Poindexter, hopefully keeping them in Happy Valley?
Yeah, no, there's definitely a couple people. You need to keep Darius Dixon. You need to keep Andrew Rappleyea. Who's a couple? Obviously, you want to keep Kobe Howard. And the other big one that I think, if you don't get a big hire, is could be in jeopardy, because I know Ohio State, for a fact, is throwing a bag at Chaz Coleman. If you get a big-time hire, and it's like, hold on, Penn State's going to compete, and you got an easy schedule next year, it starts to become a lot easier to try to lure Chaz Coleman to come back to Penn State next year. So I think that's another piece of that as well. Fun fact, the most points Rutgers has scored on Penn State since they've been in the Big Ten was 10 points before today. They scored more than triple that today. Holy cow. Club Daisy, what is up? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, the defense had a bad day. 500-plus yards, 36 points against Rutgers. Oh, wow. Well, we got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Landon Baker. I'm calling from Altoona, PA.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
I was just wondering, I know you're a big Chili's guy. What is your triple dipper go-to? I know it's not really Penn State related, but
I know. I appreciate the question. I'm going to be honest, bro. If you've been following me, you know this. I'm more of the, I think it's Southwest combo. Yeah, Southwest combo. You get mac and cheese. You get a corn cob. You get some really succulent ribs going on there. You still get the crispy chicken crispers. I highly recommend it. Let me just say that. And I'm also getting the triple dip tray before everything even comes out. So highly recommend. Yeah, that's Sarah and I were talking about that. We're probably going to take a Chili's trip here in the next week or two. So definitely be on the lookout. I might have to videotape one of them coming soon. We might have to vlog it. So we got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. This is Michael from Port Matilda.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
What's up? Just a quick one for you. Thanks for taking my call. Are we rooting for Auburn tonight?
Yes, probably. I think that furthers, if you are a Kalen DeBoer fan and you are in the want of him being to be the Penn State head coach, then yeah, it would add to the likelihood, I think, if Auburn wins tonight. So yes, and I think it's gonna be a great game. Just like the game, a lot of times the Iron Bowl is always a good one, even when it really probably shouldn't be. Farzad, thank you for the donation, my man. Always showing love to the show. Thank you so much. He says, we are Penn State. Love the fourth down call to win it. Defense was under the influence, or so it seemed. Landon's the GOAT. Appreciate you. Hear me out. With the last guy, are we kicking the field goal there at the end? Just saying. Just wanted to bring that up. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. It's Mike from Lebanon. I just want to say great show again. The best post-game show out there. Appreciate you.
My God.
My question is, why do we keep buying into the myth that, Penn State can't get the top-tier team players here? Joe Pa did it in the 90s, in the 80s, the 70s, and 60s. He got the national, best players from around the nation. So how can Penn State not do it? I don't get it. We need to stop spreading that myth. And have a great night.
Yes,
Enjoy
sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I think especially, and we were obviously talking pre-NIL era, with what you were talking about. But I think now that's what changes with the next coach. If you were able to unlock all the funds, Penn State absolutely can recruit at the highest level. Because I'm telling you, I can promise you guys, these athletes, they do not care about facilities or whatever. If anybody is going anywhere telling you, they have to have the newest facilities, the recruits don't care that much. They will work out in a high school gym if you're paying them $1.5 million. If you have the money to pay, they will come. And that was the biggest problem, is that Penn State, specifically under James Franklin, just did not want to pay freshmen. They didn't want to pay. James Franklin was not comfortable saying, hey, I will pay this 18-year-old five-star more than majority of my stars on my team. And the problem is you have to do that. If you want to be the best, you know what those five stars become? They become the stars of your team a year or two later. And so that's been the biggest problem. Really, we haven't gotten any huge recruits since we've been in this, 2022 was that big class. In 2022, that was the last class where NIL really wasn't that big of a thing in terms of you weren't signing contracts for hundreds and hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. I mean, maybe if you were a quarterback, I'm sure Drew Aller got a nice chunk, just good change there. But No, if you were like an offensive lineman and a 4-star in 2022, it wasn't anything, because 2021 it wasn't even legal yet. So that was the biggest difference. But I think Penn State's going to have a lot of support financially moving forward here. So I'm excited to see what that looks like too. Penn State fully supported by money, because obviously you had that under Joe Paterno, but it didn't really matter because there was nothing to spend it on besides facilities. Now you're able to see what a full force of Penn State wallet looks like in the transfer portal. Let's go to the phone lines. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm calling from the Homestead.
Oh, Miss Sarah, how are you doing?
Well, I figured I'd call in because I saw some fans were like, where is she? Well, the fans can know. No, we did not break up.
That's good.
In the middle. I was in the middle of Christmas decorating, so needs must on that. And I was listening to the game on the radio while I was in and out of the house. What was the deal with the defense? Please, Landon, talk us through it. It looked like they wanted to throw the game so they didn't have to go to a bowl game for a second there.
See, even with Sarah not even here, it's amazing. We get the fan representation of the show. It's fantastic. Yeah, it was Cowboy Riv. I said Goat Tangwall. Not yet. Soon, in a couple months actually. Defense was scary bad. I know. I don't know what to say. Listen, maybe it was an all-time move by Jim Knowles. He said, next coach, have a bad performance today, go on my way with $6.4 million, go to a beach. No, I'm just kidding. Listen though.
That might ring true.
Listen.
At this point, I
would do that. If I'm in my 60s and I can if I get fired, I'm taking 6.4 on my merry way, and it's Christmas time. I'm going to have some cookies and wrap presents.
I don't agree with that. To me, at this point, the coaching search, I feel like the janitor of the athletic administration building is going to be the one to be announced as the head coach, because I have no clue.
Well, that would be par for the course for this search of where we're at now. Just about anybody's heating up. So I'll be home soon. What's for dinner?
The shrimp chipotle style bowls. We're trying to be on the bridal boot camp fitness journey, y'all.
Yeah, I guess something like that. Not me.
Yeah, not your waistline.
No,
but,
I'll stop. I'm gonna stop McDonald's too. Thank you for the call.
Badass.
See, get her out of here. That's it. We got another caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? She called me a fat ass.
What's
up, bro?
This is Kyle Height from Altoona.
My man, what is your question?
So, if we get DeBoer, is there a chance we get Ryan Williams? Because I think there's a shot we can get him.
I don't know. I mean, like, we could go down that whole roster. I don't know. I would hope. That'd be awesome. Put Ryan Williams on campus here. That'd be really cool. But I don't know if that would happen, if you want me to be honest with you. The biggest thing I'm excited for in the next coach is to have an offense. And look, the offense was not the problem today. Do not get me wrong. That was fun to watch. But I'm just excited to just have a good offense, a competent offense that we have not seen since the likes of Joe Moorhead. That would be very much my hope. The one thing I will tell you guys, if Kalen DeBoer does happen, I mean, we're going to cover everybody, whatever happens. Like I said, we'll have a video right up for you. The news drops at 2 a.m. I'm getting in my pajamas, getting in the car, coming down to the studio, and we're recording. But no matter what happens, I do want to remind you this. Alabama's run game, which I don't know, I haven't watched any of the game yet. I guess it's coming on soon. 7:30? It's bad. They have a bad run game. Maybe it'll be better against Auburn, but it's been bad all year. So that would be one thing. I don't even know who Alabama's offensive line coach is. I'm curious to check that, though, because it's been a rough year, that is for sure. Yeah, someone said Ryan Williams from Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, that might be tough then. That might be real tough. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Ooh, forgot. Blacked out.
Hello, this is Brian calling from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
I have 2 quick points. One is we have a Chili's here in Mechanicsburg, and if you and Sarah make it down, I'll pay for your meal. and that
I
I
appreciate it, brother.
twin sons that are diehard fans, Penn State fans, that would love to talk to you. And secondly, I think you got to go with Terry Smith. I think the guy's going to be at a discount. I think you got to give the guy a chance to see what he can do. And I mean, a lot of these coaches that have come about, no one knows how good they are until they're given a shot. So I think he has a pedigree from where he grew up to coming up underneath Paterno. And that's just my 2 cents.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. I do think that it's unlikely that Terry gets this job just because Pat Kraft is looking for the home run hit. I think that's kind of what is needed for Penn State right now, and he's looking to get a lot of support from, put it behind whoever this next guy is. But like I said, we will be monitoring all that closely. By the way, I'll put the link in the description below if you watch this afterwards. But if not, if you're watching it live, go to the student bookstore. We have Landon Tengwall Show t-shirts, no paywall, just Tengwall. $20 every single cent spent goes to the Dawkins Family Foundation as well. So if you guys want to rep no paywall, just Tengwall, you can go online there. If you're coming to town anytime soon, you go on down to the student bookstore, get you that purchase. And also thank you again to Whiteout Tequila for sponsoring the show. Mike Motti, Christian Hackenberg, putting some of the best juice on the market. Pat Kraft has done a remarkable job keeping people confused, out of the loop, guessing, completely throwing people off of his scent. I do give him credit for that because, I don't know, it's been completely all over the place. And as I've told you, I almost feel like there was misinformation sprinkled down to just keep people guessing and wrong. It's been impressive. I gotta give him props for sure. But let's see if he can finish this final act and actually hire a big-time head coach. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Kathy Heilman from Park Hills.
What's up, my man? What's your question?
I'm a man, but who do you think is going to opt out of the bowl game?
I said, what's up, man? I have no clue. I couldn't tell you at all. I could not tell you at all. I don't know. It's going to be something that Terry's going to have to talk to the guys too and talk to them about. But Terry said earlier in his presser this week, he said, I expect to maybe have a 1-off or a 2-off. But he said that's all I expect. So I don't know if that was him being optimistic. But I would guess you would have more than that because anybody that has real NFL aspirations, do you want to wait around and play in the Pinstripe Bowl from this type of season, or do you want to get a 27-day head start on your combine training? So it also doesn't matter. Sometimes the player wants to do something and they sit down with their agent and they say, look, we got to get your 40 time better or whatever your problem is. We got to fix this. And it's all right, or I'm going to play in the Senior Bowl and I need to do some work with my offensive defensive line trainer, something like that. I don't know. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. That's going to be. I'm curious to see how many people are going to opt out and which bowl game Penn State is going to head towards because that's going to be something. But I'm all in for the Pinstripe Music City Bowl. I guess I could get behind that, but it's going to be interesting these next couple weeks. If you guys are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also follow me on Twitter at Landon Tengwall because it's about to get on Sheehan. Whichever head coach we hire, you guys best believe I'm going full deep dive into that coach, their background, with the coaches they might bring, their recruiting classes, whoever commits from their recruiting class. We're going to do film breakdowns from the new commits that we hopefully get. All of it is going to be covered here at the Landon Tengwall Show. We will bring in producer Jesse. We'll bring in Booch. We'll have all the favorites on this coming week to make sure that we have you guys covered for the best content in all of Penn State media realm. Someone in the chat goes, are you related to Dave Tengwall? Yes, that is my grandfather. That is Big Dave. That's where I play football. He played at the University of Tennessee. That's where I get my bigness from. So thanks, Papa Dave. Appreciate it. Someone said number 4 opted out in the third quarter. Oh, you guys are hell, man. It's amazing. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Brother, my name is Eric. I'm from East South Texas. How are you doing?
Doing well. What's your question?
Man, I'm over here with Emily, the fiance, and the kids, and man, I was so shocked. I was so nervous to see if we're gonna pull that. My question is, now that he's proof with these true, how much harder does Pat Kraft have now to make a decision? Would it be tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kraft has to move, and I talked a little bit about this earlier. He has to move because whatever coach he signs is going to have a pretty good class. And if hopefully I'm right, of like I said, what everything I've heard as of today, of the news changes every single day, and all the news today points to Lincoln Riley and Kalen DeBoer. We will see. But if you get either one of those guys or anybody with an existing class, because Penn State has basically a non-existing 2026 recruiting class, well, you want to be able to take whatever recruits want to follow that coach. If 12 different recruits want to follow from USC with Lincoln Riley, or we get 8 different recruits that want to come from Bama's 2026 committed class, we got to get a move on those. So you can't wait until Thursday of this week, because signing day is Wednesday through Friday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You better sign a class then, and you just have to get going on the transfer portal. You have to get moving. There is no doubt about that, because when it opens on January 3rd, I believe it is, guys are already going to be committing right away. I mean, the recruitment period starts tonight. It already started, but it starts tonight officially for all of these transfers, and their agents are going to be ringing these teams off of the hook trying to move guys around. So you got to move. He's Deacon Dave. Yes, Deacon Dave Tangwall. Yes, sir. He taught PhD for you. Yeah. He was a good professor, man. Shout out Dave. Taught me a lot of great things. Oh, wow. It'll break. Go Vols in the chat is just dead set on Chesney. Yeah, maybe Chesney to UCLA will break tomorrow. I don't know. I think it's about all you're getting in there, brother. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hey, Landon. This is Mazen from the Lehigh Valley. I've been recently a fan of your show, and I just want to have like 2 questions literally related to the whole PSU situation. I mean, going back to Franklin, era, I think Penn State's problem has been always like the offense. Is it just the lack of his is it the lack of his involvement in the offense, or is it his micromanagement style? And then the second question, I think any coach that Penn State can actually hire, as long as there's an OC capable of running really a decent offense, that would just be the difference maker, because, with the talent, always getting good recruits on defense, and even the offensive side of the ball, really, they don't have to go fancy and hire, $10 million coach.
Yeah, no, I do think the what I'd be interested in is what if the head coach that we get is going to be a play caller or not. But yeah, I mean, we haven't had a good offensive coordinator since Joe Moorhead. It has been a dip off for a little while now. Someone's name is Den Tuesday in the chat. Oh my gosh, I don't know who's been around Penn State or what years you went, but Den Tuesday, I never went to them. I had friends, teammates maybe, that did go to Den Tuesday, but that is made of nightmare fuel if you go to Den Tuesday. Sorry, that caught my eye. It absolutely, that's ridiculous. Yeah, Garrett said, like I said, I said this earlier, I try not to say anybody's fully off of the board in this coaching search, because things can heat up after one phone call, but Chesney is about as cool as I've heard. I don't think that I don't think that meshed all the way, but I mean, like I said, we'll see. But as it stands right now, from everybody that I've talked to, the heat is on DeBoer and Lincoln Riley, so we will monitor that. Does USC play tonight too? USC versus UCLA? Yeah, look at that. Both of Penn State's future coaches are playing tonight. Just kidding, guys. Maybe, probably not. Here we go. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
What's up, brother?
Hey, this is Tom Height from Potter County, PA.
My man, what is your question?
I wasn't fond of the defense today. I don't know about you, but could you give me your thoughts? And I know Coach Knowles can suck a fat one.
Yeah, it was bad. A lot of missed tackles. They were eating us up on RPO. we were filling gaps in a really bad manner. A lot of times the linebackers weren't taking on the blocks, and sometimes they were picking aside, and it was kind of easy for the offensive linemen to wall them off. And their running back, Antoine Raymond, give him a lot of credit. He had a lot of great moves, forced a lot of missed tackles, but there was a lot fundamentally wrong. And then the cornerbacks had a rough day overall just with these Rutgers wide receivers, which are definitely talented. I showed you guys that on the film breakdown, but all-time bad day. Penn State has only allowed 10 points to Rutgers. That's the max amount of points they've allowed since they've been in the Big Ten, and they more than tripled it today. We have a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Hudson. I'm calling from. I just got out of the Rutgers game. I went there today.
My man.
And
how was it?
It was something, but I'm kind of glad we followed all the concerns at the end. But the atmosphere there is weird. Anyways, I remember you talking about earlier that Jim Knowles should be re-signed, and that was something we can get into. And coming out of this game, I was thinking about that the whole game. I was like, should we re-sign this guy? It didn't feel confident in that anymore, and I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah, so I honestly, Ohio State and on through last week, through coming into this game, I felt pretty good about Knowles. Even though Ohio State, they started to smoke us, it was just their wide receivers were that much better. But everything looked sound. And then it was like we went back to how the defense looked at the beginning of the year. Well, not all the way beginning, not the first 3 easy opponents, but when we were playing some good teams, we were playing Northwestern, it was just running backs just being able to just chug away at us. And it felt like even against Northwestern, the RPO was always there, the slants. It feels like it's hard for Jim Knowles a lot of the time to come up with answers. When he is getting slashed with a couple things repeatedly, it feels like the adjustment period is hard for him to fully grasp and be able to implement. So I think that's been one of the biggest things. But I saw a lot more physicality the past couple games, and I think guys still had it this game, but it was just overall the fundamentals, and I'll watch it on the tape tonight, but overall just the responsibilities, it just looked like it looked not these past couple games more against UCLA and Northwestern than it did against Nebraska. So I don't know. We will see. Whatever this next coach brings in, I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Do you want Knowles back? I'd be curious because I think everybody was kind of like, yeah, bring him back as of 24 hours ago. And now I think, we're not emotional at all though. But I think everybody's on the other side of that one now. So I don't know. I'm curious. That is $6.4 million if you are good old Pat Kraft in the athletic department. Hakeem the Dream, thank you for the donation. Hire Brian DeBoll as head coach. He'll bring Rex Ryan as... I would love, how much money I would pay to take Rex Ryan to Kelly's Steakhouse and just get plastered with Rex Ryan at the back bar at Kelly's Steakhouse? Because I'd pay a lot of money for that. So we might as well just get that done. Thank you for the donation. Jim Knowles, the highest paid defensive corner in the nation, gave up nearly 550 yards to the Big Ten dorm mats. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, they didn't want to talk. We got another caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. This is Ross from Lebanon.
What's up, Ross?
First thing I want to say is, thanks for the job you do in your podcast. I feel like your insights are always spot on. But really, my question tonight is about tackling. Tackling for years at Penn State, I think maybe even all the way back to Bill O'Brien, has been horrendous. Do you have any insight into what's done in practice in regards to tackling, and why has it fallen off so much?
Yeah, I will tell you this. I think the biggest thing is, especially this preseason, there was reps cut down a lot because, number one, this team did play 16 games last year, and then they came into spring ball, and they didn't get the same tackling that they normally got in spring ball. And I remember Knowles. We didn't hear all the way about it, but we were missing Dennis Sutton. We were missing Zane Durant. We were missing Zion. I believe Zion Tracy. I know we were missing Tony Rojas. There was a bunch of guys missing on the starting defense that didn't get a lot of reps in spring ball. And then there was obviously in fall camp, they cut down a lot of the reps because it was just so many guys had so many more reps under their belt. and you want to try to do that for the safety of players. But on the flip side of that, also, you struggle with taking too many reps away from guys and they're not playing up to their full potential. So that'd be the number one thing I would look at with a lack of tackling, is probably that you're not getting the same reps that you were getting before because the team was trying to preserve your body because you played so many more games. But it results poorly because, Penn State's tackling today was definitely horrific. Someone said numerous reports about Mel Tucker to Penn State. Why aren't you talking about that? Shout out Chris Buchanani for sending out a Mel Tucker troll tweet this morning. And he definitely, I think he got some folks. Some folks thought he was serious, I'm going to be honest. So, love Booch, man. Can't wait for our conversation with Cheese Shop Coffee sitting here this week. I think that's become some people's favorite. So, it's become one of my favorites. So, we're going to have a damn good time. We'll have producer Jesse on this week as well. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Nate Holiday from California.
What's up, Nate? What's your question?
Hey, man, I was just wondering, I know DeLuca wants, let a naysayer know being a walk-on and everything, but they can't keep leaving him out there with all these missed tackles and everything. Just want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Alex Tash has continued to play more and more, and that was actually Alex Tash that led up that wheel route touchdown at the end. But I think that was something that the defensive coaches realized, that DeLuca is a 20 to 25 snap guy, not a 70 snap guy like he had to play at UCLA and Northwestern. And that's why Tash, honestly, is one of the guys, although he had that mistake today. I thought he's been playing well and very physical. Tash is on my list. If I were to make a top 5, top 6, Tash is making that for sure, of players you need to retain if you're the next head coach of Penn State football, because he has been impressive. He flies around, but he's very clearly a freshman. We're going to take one last caller right here. Oh, we got a donation. Thank you so much. He says, do you think we will know by Monday? I sure hope so. If we don't, if we drip into Tuesday, you guys are going to have to do a welfare check on me, because this is going to get absurd. So I don't know, but I can't promise anything. I don't know what Pat Kraft is going to do. I'll tell you what. We got one last caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Len, it's Clayton out of Indiana.
What's up, Clayton? What's your question, brother?
So I've got a friend who's a big Ohio State fan, and going into the season, we get Jim Knowles. He's talking about word around campus. After that first loss to Oregon, Jim Knowles stops calling the plays. And I'm like, man, you Ohio State fans, you need insane amount of copium every time you lose. But watching him continue on, and the farther we've gotten into the season, now at the end of the season, I'm starting to kind of believe that. And I don't know, would we be good with, screw it, drain the swamp, full reset, or...
Yeah,
keep him on for another year.
Yeah, I think for the most part you're looking for a full reset. It depends. It also depends. Let's just say it's Lincoln Riley, and let's say D'Anton Lynn, his defensive coordinator that played DB here, if you did not know, late 2000s. Let's just say he would be a candidate for that USC head coaching job. If he doesn't bring Lynn, then maybe you're looking at it and say, do you want to try to make it work with Riley and him? But if you bring in another head coach who has a DC and he says, I want to bring my DC. Or if you're, are you getting rid of Knowles? Maybe. I don't know. It's tough to say. It's easy. It's like, I feel like we've been very reactionary about this, guys. Like, good game by the defense, a good stretch, and we're like, hell yeah. And then, we're back to hell no. So I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what really goes down. We got to do one last. Kalshi? Is it Kalshi? Kalshi. That's it. Kalshi betting odds right now. Kalani Sitake at 28% is the leader. This is not like Vegas odds. This is basically, these guys have these numbers because people are betting on them. He's at 28. DeBoer's at 26. Lincoln Riley's down at 14%. It's going to be interesting to watch, guys. I'm excited. Whenever we have news out tomorrow, I will be posting a video, and we'll go live at some point. Whenever the head coach hire happens, we'll have a video out for you guys pretty much right away, and then I will do a live show within, approximately 10 to 12 hours, maybe even less if it happens in the morning. We'll probably do a nighttime live show or something like that. But I'll keep you all posted on my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.